Our conversation with Alan Robinson of the State Department of Labor and Industry, brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. And he is on the line with us from Harrisburg. Mr. Robinson, good morning.
Good morning.
It's wonderful to have you with us here today. We want to talk about a program called Shared Work. We want you to define it for us, first of all, and then let's talk about some practical ways that we see this program working in Pennsylvania. What is the Shared Work program?
Well, Shared Work is a voluntary unemployment compensation program. It allows employers that are facing a decline in business to, instead of laying off employees, to reduce the work hours of a group of employees, and then we pay unemployment compensation to them based upon the percentage of reduction. For example, an employer normally works 40 hours a week and reduces the hours to 32. The employer then, what would happen is the employer would pay 32 hours, and then we would, based upon a 20% reduction in hours, we would pay 20% of the person's unemployment compensation weekly benefit rate to them to make up somewhat of the difference between what they were working and if they were working full time and what they're presently earning. That's the basic premise of the program.
How long has Pennsylvania had shared work?
Goes back to actually the previous recession, it goes back to about 2013. We've gotten a grant, and this goes before this coronavirus stuff going. We got a grant from the federal government to do some publicity on the program, and that's why I'm out and about doing things even before the program was going on. So this has been around a while. The U.S. Department of Labor has been encouraging the states to use the program and encourage the employers to get more involved in it. And the program right now is in various versions of the program are in 30 states. The federal government, U.S. Department of Labor, set sort of a baseline of what the law had to look like, and then the states were allowed to make changes within the baseline.
The programs
if you're an employer, one of your Indiana employers has a place like, let's say, in Massachusetts, which I know has a shared work program, and they don't need it. They need to talk to the Massachusetts people because they have a version of that as well.
You and I were talking a couple of moments ago before we came on the air, and this is an ever-changing situation, the employment picture in Pennsylvania, and you said it's changing minute by minute with the shared work program, too, and there's actually good news for the shared work program.
Yes. From what I'm able to understand, and I just read the summary this morning, we're waiting for more details, is it looks like, and I'm going to say looks like, the way employers are not going to be charged for participating in the shared work program. Now, let me explain how that normally would work. When we pay a week of unemployment compensation benefits, we charge the employer for those benefits. That's how it normally works. But it looks like, from what we're seeing with what was passed last week, that's going to be exempted for a period of time. And we're still waiting for details. Stuff hasn't come out yet, so we're still waiting. But that's what it looks like right now from the high-level summaries I'm seeing. But I haven't seen, as of this morning, details from the U.S. Department of Labor how that's going to work. So we're waiting.
Well, it sure seems like something like that would really be in line with the whole spirit of the shared work program, especially for those employers who are struggling so much. Talking with Mark Hilliard from the Indiana County Chamber of Commerce, and he asked me to ask you if you could give us an example or two of companies for whom this is really working.
Okay, a couple of examples. The first one, again, this is prior to this craziness, is we had a company, and it makes fire turnout gear. And they were having problems getting materials for the fire turnout gear. And they were using the shared work program to keep all their machine operators and their cutters and people like that working as they got material, and then they'd bring them back on again. Another group has been powdered metals manufacturers, and they make auto body parts.
Mm-hmm.
Up in the northwest, up around Cameron County, there are about a dozen of them, and they've used the program as well to as the supply and demand of their auto body parts goes up and down, then they've used the program as well. We have a company that makes truck bodies for such things as cement mixing equipment, and they've used it. So there's been a variety. We've even had fuel oil dealers use it, and that's which is, you wouldn't think a fuel oil dealer would be more of a seasonal thing, but they do deliver fuel in the summertime. I had a house here in Mechanicsburg where I'm living. We use fuel oil to heat our hot water, and so in the middle of summer it was 95 degrees, and down the street would come the fuel oil delivery truck because I needed a tank of fuel oil in order for me to heat my hot water in the middle of the summertime. So to do laundry and just things like that. So they were using them.
So shared work enables these companies to keep their people and have employees even in those slower times, and they can adjust their work schedules and not be as hard hit as maybe they might be without shared work.
Yes, and one of the requirements of the program, and that's one of the things that your employers need to know, is that if there's benefits being paid to these people, they have to keep their benefits as if they're working full-time. Couple other things, that you can establish a group of employees. For example, you maybe have one line that's working, overtime, and another line that's not working near as well. Well, that line can be eligible for shared work while the other line continues to be employed full-time. You can tailor the program. An example, let me make it real time. Restaurants. Your servers can be totally laid off, and you can do shared work for your cooks because they're doing takeout.
Yeah. That's a great example there.
Yeah, that's a good example. We can do that. The group has, because we're sharing work, and that's the key word to this. The key, there has to be 2 or more employees to share work. Otherwise, you can't share work. You can't share work with one employee.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I've gotten a question, can I share work with one employee? Well, the answer is no. You have to have 2 employees because you got to share the work.
Yeah. Sharing it with myself just doesn't exactly work.
No.
We're talking with Alan Robinson, the Department of Labor and Industry, about the Pennsylvania Shared Work Program and how it can work for companies, especially in this day and age, the coronavirus day and age. Alan, how do programs or companies get involved?
Well, they need to file an application. And at our website, and let me give you a very specific website. It's www.uc.pa.gov/shared work. There is an application that can be completed. It's a PDF application. They can use that application. And the reason why I'm going to encourage the employers to use that application right now is there's another application out where they file their quarterly unemployment compensation taxes. But we have found that companies, let's say you're a plant in Indiana County, but your corporate office is let's say in the state of Indiana.
Okay.
To make it fun. Their quarterly taxes may be filed by their headquarters, and they don't have access to the log-on information to file the shared work application. So they can use the PDF application at our shared work website at uc.pa.gov/shared work. The application requires about 20 questions, and half of them they know. The name and the address of their company. We need their unemployment compensation employer account number, which they should know. We need to know why they're doing this. That's the biggest question that we can't answer for them. We can help them with almost anything else, but why they're doing this. And another question we have to ask by law is, what would happen if they didn't do this?
Okay.
And usually the answer is we're going to lay off everybody.
Mm-hmm.
One of the advantages of doing this is if you would not do this to your employees and you just reduce the work by 20% without doing shared work,
mm-hmm.
most of those people, based upon the normal unemployment compensation, weekly benefit rate, and partial benefit calculations that we use, would not get any benefits. With shared work, they do.
Yeah, wow, that is a tremendous thing. I just got an email from a manufacturer here in Indiana County, and I'll just quote what he says. I have used the program several times during the severe mine downturn from 2016 through 2018. It was absolutely great and a lifesaver at the time. So this is a program that works demonstrably here in Indiana County.
Right, it does. And the nice thing about this is because you're keeping all of your employees, because you're going to keep all the employees in that group. Mm-hmm. When the business ramps up, and we know that's going to happen. We know what happened in China. The Chinese are going back to work. They're going back to work.
Yeah.
And when that happens, then you have your employees, and you have them, and they have their benefits, and then their morale is better because they know they've got work to do.
Yeah,
that's one of the advantages of this program.
Just have a couple of moments left with Alan Robinson, but that's a great point, because one of the things we're beginning to hear is that companies that are their workers are home because they're laid off. The companies are worried that once things get back to whatever normal is, they're not going to have workers. We were in a severe worker shortage before, and their people might go elsewhere now. It's a whole open market for jobs once this thing gets rolling again.
Yeah. And the other thing is, though we have suspended work registration and work search requirements during this pandemic because we don't want people out and about trying to do that, when things get back to normal, work search and work registration at some point, and I don't know when that is. Let me tell you, I'm not involved in those decisions. Some point we're going to be required by the U.S. Department of Labor, and the governor is going to turn the work search and work registration requirements back on. Under shared work, those get waived.
Oh, okay.
There's no work search and no work registration for shared work participating employees and employer.
It sounds like just a tremendous program that's really done some good work and helped some companies stay in business. So, Alan, once more, for folks who want to get involved, give them the information.
Okay. The best way to deal with us is at uc.pa.gov/shared work. And if they've got questions to us, send us an email, okay?
Okay.
At shared work, that's all one word, at pa.gov.
Shared work at pa.gov.
And we will do the best we can to get back to you. Please note that we're doing everything that we can as a department to handle claims right now. And so if we're a little slow, we'll get back to you. We're working as rapidly as we can. So I just wanted to let everyone know that every day we're getting a little bit better because we're working from home too. Our employees are working. Our UC people that normally work at our call center over in Indiana, where we have one, normally are working in that call center. Well, they're not there right now. They're working from home. And every day we add more and more capability to get those people up and working. So we're more and more every day able to handle more and more claims and get things processed.
It's terrific stuff. Alan Robinson, thank you for being with us today. This has been very helpful.
I want to thank you for reaching out to us. This is the first radio interview, so thank you so much. We really appreciate your help.
It is our pleasure. Have a great day today.
Goodbye.
There's Alan Robinson.